been a while since I've done this. This is a bit hard. I kind of need to psych myself back up to... My jumper's all covered in grind holes. It looks like I've been fucking dribbling. Oh, not tomorrow. G'day, welcome back again. It's been a long time since I've been out in the shed. It's been a wee while since I've made a video. I've had a lot of time off recently. I've just had surgery on my elbow, so it's kind of left me limited to what I can and can't do, what I can and can't lift. Spinning spanners, etc. has been quite hard. So not much has happened, but at the same time, it's been a little while since I've done my last video. So a few things have happened since. Some things funny, some things not so funny, depends on which way you want to look at it. Done a couple of things to the race car. So most of the stuff I've done to it has been, I don't even need to say that. Why am I saying that? Stop saying that. Stop it. Stop it. So yeah, so not much else has really happened. Just a couple of changes inside, and that's about it. But we are about to move into a big leap forward with this car finally. Got some changes coming, so this technically would be my Race GTO version 2. There's going to be a lot of changes. The car's going to be quite different. I'm going to take things a bit more seriously. And yeah, and at the same time, I've also got another car over here to do, which is a good friend of mine's car. He's pretty much after the same setup I have. But he's jumping straight onto what will be my version 2. So I need to build two identical setups. That one's 100% street, my one's 100% race. So it'll be quite interesting to see how all this comes out. Got some packages which I'll open and show with you shortly in this video. As it's been a while since I've done any videos, any updates, anything like that, I thought I might update you both on my race car and also on what I'll be doing with Mike's car here. This is Mike's car. This is the guy that helped me do all my wiring, sorted all my loom out, and that for when I did the Myvec. He's also responsible for a lot of calculations with engineering that I've needed from him. So he's asked pretty much for the exact same setup as what my car is about to get built. So I thought, well, it's a good time to build two identical setups. As every bit of pipe I'll cut, I'll just cut two of, etc., etc. So that should be all fun and games. While I've been off with my injury on my elbow, I've been working on quite a cool project. It's not quite finished yet, but when it is finished, I'll do a full video on that. That'll be one that I think you guys will want to see, especially anyone that's interested in engineering, fabrication, stuff like that. It's going to be quite good for the fact that it's going to be very low budget, but it's yeah, just wait and see. I think it'll be, if you're into fabrication and stuff like that, I think you'll quite enjoy it. I now have a spare twin turbo engine. Also down under there I have a spare gearbox. They've both come out of a car that you would have seen it a few videos back. I told you it was one that had a blown motor. It's just an overheated motor really. I've pulled that out because the Ks are quite low, so I might use the gearbox in my car while I get my one rebuilt and then swap them back out. Yeah, so that should be good. We'll get to that when we get to that. But as first, let's do an update. All right, so pretty much not much exterior-wise. Actually, nothing exterior-wise has changed. Well, maybe I might not have had these vents last time. These ones here are actually 3D printed, that I printed, and they're just made out of TPU, so you can see that they flex pretty good. They're quite good. I think you've seen those vents that I made there. I managed to bust one of my hood latches That's purely for the fact AliExpress. But saying that, it wasn't the actual AliExpress's parts fault. It was 100% my own fault. So brute force and ignorance doesn't work with cheap parts. All right. So the engine bay, the engine covers are now red. I gave them a quick paint of wrinkle red. Everything else pretty much is, it's all pretty much exactly how it was. Nothing really has changed, except for the fact that I had my loom here. As you can see, my loom here was, let's put this torch down. There we go. So my loom here was cable tied like it is here, and I took it out for a test drive, and the cable ties broke or got heat fatigue, and the loom dropped down into the timing belt. And the timing belt, nom nom nom, chewed them up, and we had to drive home pretty much in limp home mode. And since then the car hasn't quite gone right. I think I've got more damaged wires. I've spliced them all back together, but I think I've got some more damaged wires. So yes, that was unfortunate to say the least, especially because I was trying to show off a bit to my son, and show him how fast Daddy's race car was. Once that happened, he pretty much turned to me and said, "Dad, I think the Utes faster than this." So that was a bit embarrassing, but these things happen. Another thing I'm having problems with is my boost control solenoid, which is just there on my battery. I'm not quite sure what the goal is with that, but I took it to a track day since my last video, and I did about 10 laps, and then all of a sudden I had maximum boost. Like it was just going to full boost all the time, and I could not stop it. And I'm not sure what was going on, but I redid all the pipes, all the vacuum lines, got all that sorted. And again, when I took my son out for a drive, and it went straight to overboost and hit boost limit. So I'm not 100% sure what the goal is with that. I need to sort that out. Inside the car is still pretty much the same as what it was last time you would have seen, although now I do have a race dash in here. It's a power tune dash. I don't know if the car's got enough battery to show you it or not. So once it fires up, ever since my car did eat the timing belt, it has been having some issues with the dash. So I think there might be still an earth there somewhere that's shorted out or what have you. I'm not 100% sure. As you can see, I've got 100 degree in the air temperature, so there's an issue there. But yeah, it's all quite cool. I quite like that dash. It's got some pretty cool features that I'm going to try and, well, once the car's running in its new version, you'll be able to see them, and they'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I suppose now that's literally it. Nothing else on the car has changed. And I guess now it's time to start telling you what version 2 is going to be. So the next step for the car, obviously purely for the fact that the turbo is extremely undersized and it's running at its maximum efficiency. Like on high boost at 20 pound, it's running 100% duty cycle on the wastegate. It literally cannot produce anymore. The next obvious step to go up is another size in turbo, and probably to get away from the more cheaper Chinese turbos. So I've got some parts here. I got a new turbo for the car. I think I told you, what was it? Quite a few videos ago about the turbo I was getting. So that's arrived now. I've also got some Aero Catch latches to replace the ones I destroyed on the car. Yeah, so I brought. It's a Pulsar turbo. It's a G35 1050. As I've got a bit of a bung elbow, I'll pull it out and then pick this back up. Hang on. So it's a G35 1050 turbo with a it's a Pulsar brand turbo, but they have the exact same dimensions as the Garrett G35 1050. So we ended up, Pulsar didn't have a twin scroll 1.06 T4 flange exhaust turbine housing, so we got a genuine Garrett. So we got the 1.06 turbine housing, twin scroll T4. Yeah, so hopefully this now should stop my turbo being the biggest restriction. What else have we got in these boxes? That's that. Got obviously a pair of flanges, T4 flanges, twin scroll, twin entry, whatever you want to call them. A set of manifold flanges. In this box here, all the pipes I need, bellows, what's in this one here, V-band clamps. All this stuff here was supplied by Ultimate Fabrication Supplies here in New Zealand. Awesome guy, super friendly, really helped me out. I made a bit of a muck up on my error, and I made a bit of an error on my order, and he jumped straight onto it and actually gave me a call and said, look, is this what you're after, or is this what you're after? And got all that sorted, and then it was all here within, I don't know, maybe a couple of days. So that was pretty cool. Another set of flanges. Obviously another T4 turbo flange. Got another turbo there. It's exactly same as mine. Another turbine housing from Garrett. Again, exactly same as mine. Got $50mm blower valve, and then in this box here, I have four 44mm external wastegates. Obviously, because the setup is going to be twin scroll, I need to run two wastegates. Well, I don't need to. I prefer to run two wastegates. It just makes things a bit easier. It also helps control boost control itself. So I've got four wastegates there, two for my car, two for Mike's car, blower valve there. I'm not sure what Mike's going to do in that sense, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And the new G35 1050. So with all of that, we'll move over here and I'll explain the plan, I guess, the goals, the end goals. The end goals is I'd like to make as much power as I was making on high boost, but on low boost, and then just enjoy track time, and get some more seat time. But to get there, it's going to be quite difficult, and I'll explain why. So I want to get rid of the way the turbo is sitting now, purely for the fact that the exhaust is getting a bit hot to the alternator. And it's just going to be a short period of time before that fails. I want to just try and move all this stuff out. So I thought it'd be cool, big turbo, a bit blingy. I'd like to put it here. All right, I'd like to put it above the gearbox, where you see quite a few of the guys in the States do it. Looks cool. Pit Road M, They've got an amazing GTO. I don't know if they still have it, but they had an amazing GTO, big single turbo, big Greddy single turbo sitting just above the gearbox there. And that was awesome. So I want to go along those sorts of lines. But with the American GTOs, they don't have the clutch there. The clutch is on the other side. So trying to get a gear, get exhaust pipe, manifolds, all that past here, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be harder on Mike's car because he wants street car. So he wants to keep the heater hoses, etc., etc. So those things are going to be a bit trickier. Battery, that's easy. Flick that off. Don't need that. Don't even need it. Put that in the back. We'll just get one of those gel batteries so we can run them under the passenger seat or something like that. That's easy. Fuel pressure regulator. Fuel lines. They all come up on this side of the car. They're going to have to be remade to come up probably on this side over here. With the feed coming into the rail this side, looping back like it does there, and then having a regulator over here with the return coming out here. I just don't like the idea of fuel being that close to all the heat that's going to be on this side. Clutch master cylinder. I'm thinking about doing kind of some form of reverse clutch, so it pushes back towards the driver, like the master cylinder's on the inside of the car. So when you put your foot in the clutch, instead of it pushing through the firewall and into the master cylinder is actually going to be in the cabin. There are some you can buy. I think Wilwood has one. I think Tilton has one. I don't have that sort of budget for one, so I'm going to see what I can make. And worst comes to worst, I will crumble down and I will buy one. So that's the clutch. Battery's gone. Fuel system's gone. There's going to need to be some form of heat control, because I've heard of people in the States melting their selector cables and stuff like that. Not so much the cable, but the sheath around the outside. And once that melts, the cable jams, you can't change gears. You got to drive home in 6th gear or 5th gear or whatever gear you're in at the time. So we need to make some sort of heat shield for that. I'm going to make new manifolds both front and back for both my car and Mike's car. A collection pipe, turbo, exhaust pipe, intercooler pipe. I'm thinking about building the pipe that comes through. Obviously this here is going to have to go. All my loom that is on this side is going to get pulled out of the car and rerouted on this side somewhere. What I am actually thinking about doing is building a strut brace that goes across, and I'll bring my loom out here somewhere, bring it out, and then make a way it can integrate into the strut brace. So the loom is all hidden across the strut brace. Might do the same thing with the fuel rails and fuel lines, so then it can just come up on one side, maybe come up over here, run across the strut brace, so it's all kept up out of the way. Same thing with the vacuum lines, try tidy them up, get them all sorted. Yeah, so that's pretty much the way, well, that's pretty much the plan. I think I can make this work. It shouldn't be too complex. Over this side here, I'll probably build some sort of piping system that comes down, goes straight down. I was going to make the airbox, make this headlight here into the airbox, but I'm wondering if maybe I should make it down there where that duct is down there, where the vents come in. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I might remake this light and then make that as the big airbox. Maybe put a panel filter in there on an angle with the ducting going to the turbo. We will cross that bridge when we get to it. Like I said, I think I said earlier, I've got a spare gearbox over there, so that's going in. I think I'm going to ditch my clutch. I want to see what it's done to my input shaft, because when it starts and it's idling, it chatters. Not like a twin clutch chatter. It's, it does it when your foot is off the clutch. Like if you're standing here in front of the car and it was idling, it would sound like it's got a run bearing. It'd just be dugga, 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 dugga. But the second you put your foot on the clutch, it disappears. So I don't know if it's the clutch plate or not. When I first got it, I put it on the spare gearbox that I had, and it had right at the very outside edge of the clutch, it had probably about maybe 15 mils of play on the input shaft. Whereas if you put one of the stock ones or an Exceedy clutch or anything like that on it, it's tight and it has no play whatsoever. You give it a jiggle and it starts moving the input shaft straight away. So I'm going to, when I pull the motor out, which, yes, I have to pull the motor out. Sucks. I know, it's just part of it. I pull the box off and I'll have a look at the input shaft and see if it's done any damage. If it has, I'll probably just swap it out with, I've got a good quality, it's a second hand, but a good quality Exceedy pressure plate, not pressure plate, clutch disc here, but I might still use that pressure plate because that pressure plate's rated to quite a high amount of clamping force. So I might do that. I don't know yet. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me if that's a good or bad idea. Yeah, so that's the plan. I have to do it with this one. I have to do it with this one here. This car here, this is Mike's car. This is a 1998. It's a factory, although it's got the wing at the back, it is a factory non-turbo car. Hang on, let me grab a light. Click. So it is a factory non-turbo car. It came factory non-turbo automatic. A while back I did a 6-speed conversion on it, which was quite interesting actually, because you don't realize how much bigger the 6-speed gearboxes is compared to the 5-speed. So yes, I did a 6-speed conversion on it, and yeah, so that's the next plan. We're going to be doing the same single turbo conversion with that. He's going to have the same issue because he's got his clutch on that side, but he's running the factory first gen clutch booster. So I don't know. He might have to just ditch that setup and go with the same setup I'm going to run. Then we might have to do some form of rerouting for his water lines for the heater and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll just make it up as we go along. So that's the update. You're pretty much all caught up now. Saw elbow, had a knife cut into it, getting a new turbo. That's about it in a nutshell. Be moving on to that in the next few episodes. Like I said earlier, I've got a pretty cool project coming up that I've been building while I've had my elbow surgery. I think a few of you guys into fabrication will quite enjoy that. It's going to be very simple, very cheap. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next week when we start actually ripping into this and doing some work.